What if we found it? We know that feeling. When we're doing something and time just disappears. When the work doesn't feel like work and we look up to realize it's been 3 hours, yet somehow we're more energized than when we started. That's not an accident. That's a clue. Most of us spend years waiting for purpose to arrive as if it's going to knock on the door and introduce itself. But purpose doesn't announce itself. It emerges through the questions we're willing to sit with long enough to honestly answer. Questions like, what do we genuinely care about? Not what looks good on paper, not what other people expect from us. What actually keeps us up at night?
In the country. Throughout the campus, every poster, every label on every drawer was beautifully hand calligraphed. Because I had dropped out and didn't have to take the normal classes, I decided to take a calligraphy class to learn how to do this, about what makes great typography great. It was beautiful, historical, artistically subtle in a way that science can't capture, and I found it fascinating. None of this had even a hope of any practical application in my life. But 10 years later, when we were designing the first Macintosh computer, it all came back to me. And we designed it all into the Mac. It was the first computer with beautiful typography. If I had never dropped in on that single course in college, the Mac would have never had multiple typefaces or proportionally spaced fonts.
Steve Jobs dropped out of college after 1 semester. No plan, no degree. One day, he wandered into a calligraphy class purely out of curiosity. There was no practical reason for it. It simply fascinated him. 10 years later, that calligraphy class helped inspire the beautiful typography inside the first Macintosh. He had no idea he was building towards something. He was just following what interested him. That's what purpose does when we're paying attention. It connects the dots, but only looking backward. We just have to trust that the things we genuinely care about are not accidents. But curiosity isn't the only path to purpose. Sometimes, purpose shows up as conviction.
If you had the opportunity to play this game of life, you need to appreciate every moment. A lot of people don't appreciate their moment until it's past.
Kanye West grew up in Chicago wanting to make art. Everywhere he went, people told him the same thing. You're a producer. Stay behind the boards. This isn't for you. He didn't listen. Not because he was reckless, but because he was clear. He knew what he wanted to say. And that clarity carried him through years of rejection before the college dropout changed everything. Purpose, when it's real, sounds like that. Like someone who has done the inner work and stopped apologizing for what they found. Here's what the research continues to show. Purpose isn't handed to us. It's uncovered through honest reflection on what we value, what excites us, and what keeps pulling us back. No matter how many times the world says stop. Jobs followed curiosity. Kanye followed conviction. Neither had a complete map. They just had a direction, and they kept walking. We can do the same. We don't need Jobs' vision or Kanye's conviction right out of the gate. We just need the courage to look honestly at what we care about, what we're good at, and who we want to become. Then take one small step in that direction, one step, then another. That's how purpose works. Not in a lightning bolt, in a direction. And if we keep walking, what if it works out? What if it actually does?